The Dace Man Show, featuring Gibby, Frank Ward, Cheever, Tips, Sir Nicholas Andrew, Frank Klein, Chris Bumpadre. This is Travis Goss welcoming you to the Dace-tacular basement in Daceford, New Jersey with your host, Chris, the Dace Man Dace.
What's up, Dace-tacular Nation? Welcome to another edition of the Dace Man Show. I am your host, Chris, the Dace Man Dace, and joining me as always, Gibby.
Alright, let me find that exit.
Well, the fucking stream deck's not working.
Ah!
So today's a joyous day.
Joyous!
Because before the Phillies were able to return to an actual game, we returned to an actual game.
That's right!
We played softball this weekend. The Astros, which I'm not wearing that jersey, I'm wearing a Phillies jersey.
Astro with an asterisk.
Yep. And our logo is a trash can with a brony and a bat.
That's right.
That's how we roll. But as you can see, things are kind of like easing up in the COVID lifestyle, where
Here it is. Not everywhere else.
and even so, we're not even back to full capacity yet.
No, I think we're gonna go. It sounds like we're going under lockdown. We might go under lockdown again.
Yeah, he's such a
Because he's like, I know we got great numbers. Everyone else is fucking up, so I'm thinking I'm gonna fuck you guys up too.
yeah. Like, oh, you guys, you enjoyed your couple weeks of vacation?
Yeah.
Back to work, back in the house.
It's like, what the hell?
But it was interesting because when we returned to softball, the first thing we had to do was sign waivers for insurance purposes, which we do every year.
That's right.
Nudge, nudge. We had to sign a COVID list.
So yeah, so it kind of makes sense to me. That way, if somebody gets it, they know who was technically at the field that day.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense.
I just don't understand why you had to do it both games.
I understand because there are certain weeks where we don't play the same team.
Well, that makes sense, but if you're playing the same team, why would you need to sign twice?
Maybe if someone showed up late.
Hey, I showed up late. I
did.
still signed.
Still made the first game though. So like, if this person was playing the second game, this person was playing the first game. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it was nice to be back out there on the field.
No, it wasn't. Don't let him lie to you.
I mean, in the field, the batter's box, not my friend this weekend. I just need to lose a couple inches because it seems so fucking low.
You need a batting cage. Like, that's what I need. But they're like, none are open. Mm-hmm. The ones that do exist, and the ones that do exist, I don't know any of them have a slow pitch machine. Is the problem?
No.
You can usually go into like they have like a slow pitch, but it's like a normal pitch, not an arc pitch. Yeah.
Or flat. Well, you know that's good for the people who throw flat pitches all the time.
Well, not this week, man. Woo! 20 feet in the air.
I never got one of those. I was so upset. Like those, if you sent me that meatball, I wouldn't have struck out.
They're tricky.
It's a pain in the ass. Because I literally thought it was out when that one hit that plate. I'm like, he hasn't called flat all game. So I turned around and walked, and he's like, I should call you out, but it was flat.
Yes.
Damn. So were like the other 30 pitches I received. Like, I don't understand.
I know. Well, I think the problem was he was keeping track of them, only he wasn't calling them out, which is the problem.
Yeah. So, like, I'm 6'3", and if I'm looking at you pitch, and it's not going above my eye line, I don't really think that's a good pitch.
That's right.
And then there'd be like, I'd watch the couple of the batters where he's just, whoop.
Yeah, way up there.
Even though ours does it too. I see. There's a couple pitches he got up pretty high.
But nowhere's not
as this guy.
Yeah, well, not even as close as high as that guy. Some of his were fucking crazy.
But anyway, softball was back, so that was what we did this weekend. Next weekend we'll have stories of somebody's second birthday party, and then I'll be on a river tubing with some beer.
Oh, we had another softball game.
And our softball game. Just one. So.
Were you sore afterwards?
No.
I was a little tight.
My back was tight after the extension at first, but I was able to get out of the car when I got home. So that is progress in my book.
Of course. It's all you need.
Yeah.
Progress.
There've been several games I've gotten home, just sat in the Challenger, like,
not happening
not
today.
getting out.
What's playing at the drive-in?
Yeah. Come to the car. We're doing today here. That type of thing. Anyway, we got some stories for you in store after we got done our witty banter for the first 8 to 10 minutes.
Boo.
The one that I think is going to take up the most friggin' time, and that's where I'm going to start with it. Star Wars Animation announced that they will be having a new series coming to Disney Plus in 2021, which is The Bad Batch.
Dun, dun, dun.
You may remember The Bad Batch from the first 4 episodes of the final season of Star Wars Clone Wars, or the bonus episodes that were on the internet way before they did the final season, so they just kind of repackaged them and put them in the final season, which, that's in of itself
it's a little
problem.
Weird, yeah. I just don't I mean, I get it and I don't get it. Like, I don't, I would have much rather followed Rex.
I'm hoping he's a part of it.
Unless he joins the Bad Batch. But it seems a little odd to me that something that was in for 4 side episodes would get their own spin-off.
Yeah. I mean, they show up later in Rebels.
Yes. But Rex is with them then.
Yeah. I'm also hoping it shows more on Ahsoka. So, I feel like what Lucas... You talked about last week, or actually the week before, how there's civil war going on in Lucasfilms. Mm-hmm. But I feel like when it comes to the animated series, they're not doing much with Ahsoka post-Clone Wars because it really feels like they want to do a movie.
She's going to be in the, what's called? The new,
Mandalorian.
No. Well, I think, is she going to be in The Mandalorian?
Season 2. Rosario Dawson was casted as her.
Did not know that. But no, she's supposed to be in the Obi-Wan movie.
Oh, the Disney Plus series for Obi-Wan?
Mm-hmm.
Which, that kind of makes sense.
So by just hearing that, I was assuming it would probably be a post episode 3.
Well, yes, because I think
it would have to be in my mind.
It's Obi-Wan on Tatooine, I think. So it's while he's watching Luke as like a kid, pretty much.
Yeah, so it'd have to be post because otherwise it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, it would just be repetitious stories from the Clone Wars cartoon.
I don't understand how the Bad Batch thing's going to.
Well, they end up on a random planet.
I don't get it.
Well, they end up on a random planet, so it's neat to find out what the story is, unless it's a limited run.
That's what I'm thinking, because I don't understand. It's what happened after Order 66. So they get discarded.
Yeah.
Is basically where this picks off. So basically, they were still in the army for a while. They would have probably served under Vader for a while.
Except Rex.
And then the Empire then decided to terminate the clones. So it's going to be a couple years after Order 66. You got to figure. Because then they started
early Empire. Yeah.
So then they would have started replacing them with I don't even know what the hell they're called now, but stormtroopers, whatever. Yeah. They started replacing them with that, and they started weeding out the clones. The last clone army was technically the one that was loyal to Darth Vader.
Yeah.
He held the last one for the longest time, and then in lore, canon, or whatever, when they decided to get rid of the clones was because of the battle at the clone station.
Camino.
And then Vader had to come in and murder everything, basically, because they didn't want to stop, I guess, or the clones didn't want it to stop.
Well, my guess would be the Bad Batch probably doesn't have the chip or whatever the fuck triggers them. I mean, they're the Bad Batch.
But I don't know.
And Rex doesn't have it. You ended the Clone Wars series where Rex got it removed.
Fives, you already know, doesn't have it in there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I like I said, even if they have the chip, it doesn't matter. Because, like I said, I can't... Well, unless you're saying it's immediately after and none of them have the chip, and they all just rebel and go into hiding.
Well, I'm wondering, because, one thing the cartoons loves to do, especially between Rebels and Clone Wars, we're going to ignore Resistance, is bring back Darth Maul. Any opportunity they get. Now, the last time we saw Darth Maul in between Clone Wars and Rebels would have been Solo.
Correct.
Where he's in charge of Crimson Dawn. It would have been very close to Rebels.
No, it would have been before. I would say that would have been before Clone Wars, wouldn't it have?
No. Solo?
Yeah.
No, he would try to enlist into the Imperial Flight School. That's how I met
You're
Chewbacca.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
But it might be very close to Rebels' beginning, but we may get more of Maul because he's running a crime syndicate at that point.
Sort of, yeah.
Yep, and we kind of got a cliffhanger with him at Clone Wars because he got off the ship and took off.
Yeah, it disappeared.
And you might get more backstory on someone like a Han Solo.
We got to figure then when he shows up in Rebels, he's like nothing. He's crippled, basically. Like, I don't know what happened. He deteriorated a lot.
He's old.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even when he confronts Kenobi in that, Kenobi is pretty much the Alec Guinness version at that point.
Yep.
So I feel like we'll get a little bit maybe backstory on his crime syndicate, maybe Cara, who was in Solo as well.
Again, I don't know. My only fear here is because I don't see him leaving the planet. Like, I just don't see...
Oh, Kenobi.
No, the Bad Batch.
Well, I don't know where they are right now, do you?
I don't know either, but it's not like they're going to be able to just go wherever the fuck they want. It's not...
It's true.
It's going to be... I almost feel like it's going to be post, like, how do they survive? Maybe these people will come wandering in through their camp or whatever every once in a while. I don't know.
Well, it's a weird gap because you're left with the turmoil at the end of Clone Wars where the Empire is starting. Rex got out. You don't know what really happened to the Bad Batch, but the next time you see them, they're on that weird planet on a old Clone Wars walker, not an Imperial walker.
Yep.
Just cruising a planet.
So the whole question I would have there is whether or not, I guess maybe Rex recruits them. Like, the only way it makes sense to me is that like Rex recruits them for something, and I can't even say they're working with Asana because that's not how fucking Rebels was.
No, she just randomly shows up.
So it's like, I don't know. It's really hard for me to say. Like, I don't know what exactly they're going to try and accomplish with the series.
It's weird that they titled it Bad Batch. I feel like it holds them just to that group.
Yeah.
Whereas they called it like...
I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing. I just don't know how you're going to make it...
a series.
Like I said, like, to me, it's like, I don't see it being more than one season.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, 8 to 10 episodes. Yeah. Maybe they might be a little bit longer than normal episodes, but that's about it.
We thought that with The Mandalorian, and they gave us those little 30-minute bits.
But, I just don't know what they can really... I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see life after for the clones, and basically how they're treated, etc. You can, like I said, you can kind of go into the Camino thing and stuff like that. You can kind of fill in some of the back lore that isn't actually on screen.
Yeah, like when did the transition happen between Clone Wars?
Yeah, like you can kind of show that, but it kind of, what I was reading, it sounds like it's after all that. But I guess you can always do flashbacks.
Yeah.
I just don't see, like...
Again, it's a weird group of characters to track in this expansive universe.
Like, if it was Ahsoka or something, it would be much better. She's going to be moving. She's going to be traveling. She's going to constantly be trying to help people, etc. The Bad Batch, they don't have that. They're not trying to help people. They don't give two flying fucks. Like, they just do as they're told. And now the problem is they have no one to tell them what to do.
In fact, I think in Rebels, aren't they just drugged back in to the conflict because Ezra accidentally runs into them or something like that?
Well, see, that's the weird thing. I think Ahsoka knew where they were. Mm-hmm. And goes, I know where we can get some help, basically. And they went and they basically recruited Rex.
And then the others were with him.
And then the others came with him, and that for one mission, and then they all went, I think, back to the fucking Walker, but Rex stayed on.
Yeah.
It's a weird combination. I can see Rex meeting back. I can see Rex beating in it solely because we know he's going to be there with Rebels. He's probably going to want to reunite with Fives. It makes sense, even though Fives, I don't even think Fives was even in Rebels. So I guess he's got to die probably in this.
Yeah.
In this series or whatever, because there was
he was essentially
4 of them
crippled in the final season because he was the one that was hooked up to the machine.
He's a robot thing. Yeah. I mean, again, I don't fucking know. It's like, it's a very weird time frame, and
a weird subset of characters to focus on. Again, like you said, we're not doing Ahsoka. You're not doing maybe like a backstory on Han Solo more or so.
Yeah, like I don't know how. Like, the problem is, I don't know how you're gonna bring in anyone who we already know in lore besides possibly Ahsoka
and Kenobi.
Maybe you could do Maul if they land on a planet that has the crime syndicate on.
Mm-hmm. Well, that could be Ahsoka's mission.
Crazy coincidence.
Because Ahsoka's last mission in the Clone Wars was to bring in Maul, brought him in, and then the shit went down.
But then realized that what he was telling her was correct. So I don't think... I would be completely shocked if she goes down that path.
That she's tracking him?
I'd be blown away if that's the case. Just because she now realizes that everything that she told him was correct, so why would she track him down at that point?
Good point.
And even if she tracked him down, what the fuck's she going to do with him at that point?
Unless
the
he's
Jedi Order's gone.
chaos.
Even then, I don't know.
Yeah,
I almost feel like her at this point, at least in my mind, she's going to become a recluse, fucking sit back and just go, what the fuck just happened? And then try and
sort
shit out. Maybe, like, she'll probably show up eventually. I was thinking Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan might mentor her a little bit in order to get her over what the fuck just happened. But again, none of this can be in this fucking show is the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be in the Obi-Wan thing, but it can't be, I don't see how it can be in... Well, actually, I guess maybe it could, because it could...
Tee up the Kenobi series.
It could literally start, which is mind-blowing, with Rex and Ahsoka literally leaving
the
Clone Wars.
Yeah.
That's literally how it could start, actually. And then they could go and
do whatever they were gonna do.
Maybe find that group because they know they don't have chips or something, and that starts. I don't know. I have no idea how it's gonna go.
I'm sure the first thing Ahsoka's gonna do is try to seek out other Jedi to see if anybody survived.
That's what I would think.
Because she was very close to Plo Koon.
I don't know.
Master Plo.
How she would. I don't know. It's
interesting. It was a title that I was not expecting.
I agree.
I'm glad that they're going back to the meat of the story. Still want a story between Return of the Jedi and the bullshit that came after.
Yeah.
But we talked about that a couple episodes ago of the Dace Man show, is that the fact that there's just turmoil in Lucasfilms.
Yeah, they're basically, from what I've been reading, because I can't stop reading about Star Wars, it sounds like Lucasfilms at this point is just saying we're done with
Kathleen.
No, anything after episode 6. Like they just don't even want to touch it at this point because it's a colossal.
In theory, it'd be anything after Mandalorian. Because Mandalorian's post.
Whatever, but you understand what I'm trying to say? They don't even want to fuck with that anymore. And what they want to do, and what they want to do is they just want to focus on
pre-stuff,
or stuff in between, or sort of like and it doesn't even sound like, honestly, it doesn't even sound like they want to do movies anymore. It sounds like almost everything they want to do is series, miniseries, and you're right. Pretty much everything's going to be going on Disney Plus at that point.
If you look at it,
which means I'm fucked. I'm going to have to own Disney Plus for my entire life.
The Mandalorian is a cash cow.
Yes.
The fucking merchandise that came out of that.
Again, it's the only one that had merchandise that actually did well.
And not to mention, Jon Favreau said, hold on the merchandising until after everything airs.
That's right.
So they didn't even, coordinate that. He just banked on Baby Yoda being a fucking cash
Baby Yoda fucking memed out the fucking
yeah. And he went, look, aren't you happy now that everything's selling the fuck out?
Yeah, but it's like... And that's the one thing that Kathleen Kennedy didn't really have anything to deal with.
Yes.
Which is the crazy thing, because she really was only dealing with the movies.
Yep. And you watched the roundtables.
Yeah.
Where they had her in it, I guess just out of, she flexed her arms and said, hey.
Well, she's just, I got it because she's, the head leader or whatever of...
But it was, every time she talked, it was so awkward at that table, because you could just tell everybody at the table was like, you don't know what you're talking about.
Well, like I said, there's a big divide.
Yeah.
It's you could see it in there. You could see it pretty much everywhere. There's a huge divide in between Lucasfilms in and amongst itself. There's people who are basically loyal to Kathleen Kennedy, and there's people who are loyal to
the Vision of George.
The Vision of George, which is really done by
Dave Filoni.
Filoni.
Yep.
So basically, those are the two camps right now. The problem is, Filoni is winning it, in my mind, because he's the only one that's making shit that actually people want to watch.
And then specifically said, this is George's vision. The first thing I did was go and talk to George.
Yeah, it's I don't get it. But, it is what it is. I haven't... We'll see what happens. Like I said, rumors are out that they're getting ready to boot her ass out, and she's going to leave on herself. But I'm waiting to see what happens. I think she's waiting out her contract, which is another year. Sometime next year, I think, is when it expires.
She had a 3-year contract.
She got a 3-year contract after.
Before the Last Jedi came to the theater.
It was like literally right before.
Had she waited to sign afterwards and saw the Solo results, she would not be here today.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about the Star Wars universe, we have The Mandalorian Season 2 is supposed to come out sometime this fall.
That's correct.
We're going to get Squadrons, which is a new game from EA where you're piloting the X-Wings and TIE Fighters and stuff like that.
That kind of looks neat. I won't lie.
It does look interesting.
It looks pretty good.
You get Bad Batch in 2021. Kenobi is on the docket, but has not started anything yet.
I wouldn't even hold my breath on. Apparently there's a lot of fighting on that one as well.
It sounds like they started writing scripts and then just went back and redid everything.
Because again, apparently fighting started happening in between. So there's... There are actually talks they were losing the Kenobi.
Ewan McGregor?
Yeah.
Just because he doesn't want to do it, or just because he has
they were
other
having
projects?
They was having issues with some of the stuff that they were doing. I think it was all Kathleen Kennedy shit, because I think she started realizing, oh fuck, that's where all the money's at. So she started putting her hands in the shit she shouldn't put her fucking hands in. And then I think that's why they had to go down a whole extensive rewrite, because I think she got her shit in there, and they're like, no, this shit sucks, and then it's. Because I think all of that now, all the cartoons and stuff, I think actually fall under
Dave.
I don't even think it's Dave. I think it's like the guy that did the Marvel.
Feige. Kevin Feige?
I think he owns all the fucking cartoon shit because they're having all types of fucking issues.
Would it be him or Quesada? Because I think Joe Quesada does all the Marvel cartoons.
I think it's the one that's doing the movies.
Okay, so then that's Feige.
Yeah.
Who also has on his docket to do a Star Wars movie himself.
Exactly. That's why a lot of people were suspecting that he would actually be taking over Star Wars and moving away from Marvel.
Who's the heir apparent in Marvel then?
I don't know.
Or did he lay out the plan far enough that it's like, just it's on autopilot, let it ride?
Well, it could be, or if he has it far enough out, maybe he could do both. I don't know. But it's from people are basically saying it sounds like they want him to kind of head it, and his second would be
Joseph Loeb? Filoni,
or whatever the fuck his name is.
Why don't you just give it to Dave?
I don't. Well,
I mean, I don't think Dave's ever had that high of a position. But
I was gonna say I don't think Dave wants it.
That's fair.
It's more of the kind of impression I'm getting it from it. I think he wants the power, but he doesn't want to deal with from what I understand, the politics,
which makes sense,
that are involved with, especially with Disney.
Yeah. Which Feige has been able to like navigate these past 10 years.
So, for what it sounds like to me, it could be a match made in heaven, because then it could allow him, the Marvel guy, to do both of them and basically have, like I said, he's gonna have a guy probably in Marvel doing it and a guy probably in Star Wars doing it. They just report to him what they want to do, and he just yes or no, make sure it follows the storyline or whatever, and then handles all the politics. That's at least what
which makes sense.
Which sounds like to me is how it sounds like it's going to happen.
Literally, that's all Kathleen Kennedy had to do with the new trilogy is say, I want to start here, I want to end here. Do not deviate from this main storyline. Yeah. And she didn't do it. She went, I want to get your flavor, and your flavor, women power.
Yeah. Well, I think, Well, I think Filoni's going to have a lot more say into it, though.
Oh, yeah.
From start and end, but he's just gonna. But what's just gonna make sure that they follow it and just it doesn't derail like it has right now.
The cool thing with Feige is he's a big picture guy. Yeah. Kathleen Kennedy gave him small picture and said, "All right, we got 3 individual films you're shooting. Go shoot them."
Yeah.
Not realizing it's a fucking trilogy that had to be connected.
Yeah.
And then you got 7, 7.5, and then 8, 9 in one film. So it was a clusterfuck. But that's the Star Wars news I had. And I knew that was going to eat up so much time. Because whenever we should just have a Star Wars podcast.
I know. We should.
We should call it Disney. Yeah. If you want an adult-themed Star Wars podcast, we're your guys. We can't be on Disney XD.
I can't. No, because I'm going to bash Kathleen Kennedy too much.
You need to put us on FX. Yeah. Your bastard child of Fox. And be like, look at the FX show that talks about everything Disney that you can't say in Disney. That's us.
Woo!
Yeah, we'll be like, oh, fuck that guy. Yeah. Why isn't Deadpool on everything? That's going to be our commentary.
The other thing I thought was interesting, I don't know how much you are into Star Trek or not.
Trying.
Yes, so obviously, Star Trek now has basically 2 things on
All Access.
CBS All Access. It's got
Picard,
which I am halfway through. Discovery, which I finished. They're getting ready to release a cartoon on there as well. Star Trek Below Decks. And it looks pretty fucking hilarious in my mind. It looks like it's sort of like a comedy, cartoon style. It looks really fucking good.
So it's supposed to, so NBC attempted this back 2 years ago with a show called Powerless. And Powerless was essentially the disaster control for when like Superman fucks up a city. They're the guys that come in to clean it up and had to deal with it. And the owner of the company was related to Bruce Wayne, but he was like an asshole cousin. So it's kind of, I assume it's kind of like that. It's like, yeah, you deal with Picard and Kirk up here, but these are the guys that report to Scotty, and they're very disgruntled.
Correct.
Okay, that's phenomenal.
And it sounds like it's a bunch of fucking idiots. It's like a lot of the commercials and stuff. It's like has a this girl walks in on an ensign or whatever. He goes, "Are you doing a captain's log right now?"
So, you know who opened the gateway for this? Seth MacFarlane with the goddamn Orville.
Oh my, that's another one. That one pissing me off, man. That shit's delayed indefinitely now.
Well, they haven't been able to film.
I know. They were in the middle of filming.
Oh, were they?
Yes.
What streaming platform is that going to end up on?
Hulu.
Okay, that's fine. I got Hulu.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, that's big news that happened this weekend.
Hulu
Fucking threw out Comcast on their goddamn asses. Woo! That's $200 you ain't getting from this household anymore, you douches. They still get $100 because of the fucking internet, but it's ridiculous.
I was gonna say, I think mine's gonna be $80 whenever I get this shit all taken care of.
Well, the problem is we went top tier internet because of this.
Yeah, that makes sense.
One event a year that
I think we're at like mid tier one, but yeah.
Yeah. But it was such a great feeling. And to listen to the phone call, because I didn't get a chance to call him. I was the guy that was rolling around the house taking out all the equipment.
Yeah,
and
that's my whole problem is I can't do it because my name's not on the fucking contract, and that's what pisses me off. Like, that's why I'm stuck waiting, because I actually can't do anything to the account.
It's in your wife's name?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I heard the conversation, and I heard this woman pleading with my mother of just, there's nothing we can do to keep you? What if we did this? What if we did this? And my mom's like, hey, Chris, no! You tell them no and you walk away! And then she's like, okay, well, what's the router you're using? It's fine! It's been activated! Leave it alone! And it was just like, I'm done with this shit. They've had years to, like, your service is garbage. You had years to fix the problems.
Well, I don't think it's that, well...
I hate the fact that it's a monopoly, even though it's not. I know it's not, because technically you can get a shit-ass dish or whatever.
No, it's a monopoly.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic here. My whole problem is how much money you spend on it, you don't get enough the content there, yeah. And you're just sitting there watching commercial after fucking commercial after commercial.
Yes.
It is literally mind-blowing at how many commercials are in an actual show.
And the worst part about it, it's commercials about the streaming service they're launching and they're going to give you for free that makes you watch 3 minutes of commercial before you can actually watch a goddamn program on it.
It makes no fucking sense.
Not to mention, your customer service is ass.
I'm sorry, but I'm sorry. We're switching gears right now. We're going to the douchebag of the week.
Oh my god! It is absolutely the douchebag of the week, and we can't play the song, so I'm just gonna be like, "You're a douchebag, 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 douchebag."
Go down too far, this fucking hell.
Because it's like how many times have we been on this show and we've lost internet, or we've been doing a game-a-thon, we lost internet, or cable goes out because some guy farts 3 streets down the fucking road, and it's like, what the hell?
Well, the problem is you pay for a certain speed, and you don't get that speed.
Nope.
90% of the time, which is just that's like I don't understand how that's legal.
Yeah.
That's just
false advertisement.
That's what drives me nuts. If I pay for that speed, that I should get that speed a majority of the time. Now, granted, I shouldn't get it all the time. I know shit happens out there.
Yeah. Like random fucking tornadoes. That's the only time it's acceptable.
But like you should get it an overwhelming majority of the time. Like, I'm paying a premium in order to have this service. I shouldn't be slowed down because there's a ton of people on there. Tell them to pay for the upgraded version.
Yeah.
That's what I don't understand. Like, it's just shit like that drives me fucking nuts.
Oh, it's absolutely infuriating. And then your cable product is awful because you're paying $10 to $15 a fucking unit So if you have more than one TV in your house, you're fucked because you got to have a box for each TV. Then you're paying for your modem.
Drives me nuts. Yeah, like it's $10, $15. It's like what, $15 for the main unit. It's $10 for every fucking small ass dinky ass box, and then they charge you fucking like $7 or $8 for a remote fucking control.
Yep.
Well, I need a remote control. I mean, like how is that not bundled with the fucking goddamn box? That's what I don't understand.
And that's why Bezos is kicking your ass, because all their devices come with a remote.
It just doesn't make... Yeah.
And you don't even need it.
And it's still like $200 for their fucking basic fucking Comcast thing, and you really don't get shit for it.
Nope.
I mean, you really don't.
No.
It's depressing, realistically, what you get.
You don't get the premiums. The premiums are all add-ons, so that's your HBO, your Showtime, and your Stars, which at that point, I'll pay $15 a month and then cancel it when my show I'm watching's over.
Yes.
Why the fuck would I stick with you? The only pain-in-the-ass thing, and luckily for Hulu Live, is Philadelphia sports teams, because we got fucked in the region we're in because Comcast owns this fucking region.
And that's why I keep saying it's a monopoly.
Yep. Which is bullshit. You can't withhold baseball from me. That's just bullshit.
So my whole thing is, the reason I call them monopolies, because Verizon, Fios was trying to expand into the South Jersey network, but then Comcast went in and had their lobbyist petition to make sure they couldn't expand anymore.
Yeah.
That's why if you look around here, certain areas have it, certain areas don't, because they lobbied hard enough to actually get them kicked the fuck out and stop them from expanding their network. No one out there is actually running any more wires to actually expand their fucking television networks, because, or whatever, TV, whatever, because they all just subdivide each region. There's very, very, very few areas that actually have actual competition between two major players.
Yeah.
Very few. And the people that do have it, like Kerbin, get really good rates.
Yeah.
Because there's two people there competing for them. It's infuriating that they won't allow you just like...
And the other aggravating thing is, the lady's on the phone, she's like, hey, you have this package where we'll send out a technician if there's issues with your service. And my mom goes, hey, Chris, I think I'm going to keep this. And I went, for what? I'm giving their devices back to them. What are they going to service? A fucking cable? I can put a fucking cable in. I'm the one taking their devices apart right now. Why are they here taking them back?
That's right.
Like, what the fuck? So what are you going to service at that point? No, get rid of it. We want bare bones. We just want fucking internet and go away. And you know what? If I found a better option for internet, that'd be fucking gone too.
Yeah, the only one around here is Verizon has one, but it's not. You have the fucking basic version. You can't get a premium version.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the Fios lines here, so you can only go through the telephone wires or whatever. So it's like
you get their mobile hotspot.
It's basically fucking Comcast basic version, which is like, that's not what we need. If you have like probably 2 to 3 streaming devices, you can't fucking use it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just completely screwed. Again, monopoly.
And that's why you're the douchebag of millennia. Like, you're not even the week. You've been a douchebag since we started this fucking show.
You gotta figure, it's like $100. It's like, I think it's $80, and it's an extra $20 you want the router.
By the time we got
it's
threw
basically
everything out,
just imagine that. It's fucking just assume just basic $80 a month for the internet.
By the time,
like, I can understand why people are protesting because they're saying like the people are getting left behind. If it's $80 to get the internet, which everyone basically needs at this point in time, especially if you're going to school. Yeah, no shit, people are getting behind. $80 fucking is a lot of money.
Especially
That's
in the
more
pandemic.
than a fucking phone bill. I can get a cell phone bill cheaper than that.
with unlimited data.
Exactly. It is crazy.
By the time we threw it out, we were paying $2.95 a month. It was like, why the fuck are we paying $2.95 a month?
We were $240 something.
And your house is significantly smaller than mine.
But we had a ton of devices. That was the whole thing that killed us. We had a ton of devices. We had 3 TVs, all the fucking remotes. I had the fucking modem. Like, when you start, they just start nickel down. I had the basic one. I had no add-ons or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I just the basic shit.
Yeah. And they force you to take the phone.
Yeah, they force you to take the phone.
Nobody wants that number. That number should have dead fucking long ago. I call my cell phone. If you have my house number, I don't think we're really friends because I haven't talked to you that long where you didn't get my cell phone number.
Yeah, it's a disgrace. It's like, really? Come on.
Man, that was an intense douchebag.
Yeah, sorry.
Comcast hits a nerve, especially since it really aggravates me how many times we've lost connection to our show because of their fucking shit service.
I agree. Trust me, I've always had issues with them because it's just they constantly have ups and downs with their fucking service, and it's like I pay for a certain bandwidth, I should get that bandwidth all the time. A majority, like I said, I understand not having it all the time. Shit happens sometimes, you know.
Well, yeah, as with any service.
But like, you don't get it. You won't even get that 95% of the day. Like that's the problem. It's like. Unless you're up at fucking 2 a.m., you're not going to get that service.
And only Ralph gets that kind of service.
Exactly.
And he probably has both.
Yes.
He probably has the good rates.
Probably
Anyway,
does.
on to topic number 2 of the night.
Two.
The Ubisoft Forward Conference happened this past weekend.
Oh, Ubisoft.
Where they pretty much announced, hey, we're going to have a bunch of projects coming out. Here's what we're updating, all that, blah, blah, blah. And they also announced that they're going to do another event next month, which I thought was interesting. But the big announcements that came out were...
Well, see, to me, let's slash that right there. I think that's going to become a little bit more prevalent right now because the gaming industry is fucking taking off because of this whole pandemic thing. And I think they realize that doing these... Because this is not a lot of investment on them. This is all fucking streamed in their offices, at their home or whatever. It does not take a lot of work for these people. It's easy publicity to get their shit out there, and fucking people eat it up, especially right now. Yeah. So I suspect a lot more. Like I suspect PlayStation's probably going to start doing it quite frequently. Closer PlayStation 5 comes out, same with Xbox.
And you get all that information every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, on the Dace Man Show. Exactly. We're going to start taking off as well.
Exactly. But to me, it's ingenious, but it's just sort of how the world's going right now.
Oh, it's the future.
Yeah.
But they came out with 3 big new games that I thought were interesting to watch. Watchdog
Legion, I think, was already announced. But they gave you more. They gave you a trailer and some playthrough on it, I believe.
Yeah.
I have
not my game.
Other Watchdogs. It's essentially you're a hacker.
Yeah, I was gonna say you just go around hacking things. I'm not. It's not my type of game. It's a single player game. It's not. It's an RPG. I just don't.
And another game
kind of has like a Grand Theft Auto kind of vibes to a certain extent, but it's a little bit
which made me shocked
different
when I realized it was Ubisoft that did it and not Rockstar Rockstar.
Mm-hmm.
The other game that you're not going to be interested in, but I've never played any of the other 5, but I thought the main antagonist of the game was interesting because it's Guillermo, whatever the hell his name is, Esposito, I think. Basically, Gustav Fring from Breaking Bad will be the new head villain in Far Cry 6. They released a game trailer and went through that, got kind of hyping the game. That's coming out in 2021. But the one that I know you're going to have a lot to talk about because this is what's dominating the market right now when it comes to gaming. We did it. If you watch our streams, we play Apex all the time. But they've got their own Battle Royale coming out, and I believe it's called Hyperscape.
Yeah. I'm getting to the point now where I feel like the market's getting too saturated.
Let me pitch it to you, though. From the company that brought you Assassin's Creed.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun.
And several other non-first-person shooters.
There it is.
Comes their version of a Battle Royale.
Battle Royale.
Winner takes all. 3-on-3.
3-on-3.
Hyperscape.
Go on.
Did you actually watch the trailer or anything? Or
I didn't watch any of the trailers.
It's a 10-minute...
Fuck. I would not have made it through 10 minutes.
It's a 10-minute thing. Actually, I think it was a little bit over that. But it was... So it started out with the trailer, then it went into some devs talking, then it went into some actual gameplay, more devs talking, and then some more gameplay.
And all the devs were from previous games, such as Fortnite, Apex, H1Z. Well, just
no, they came. I think one of them came from Far Cry. Came from their other.
So
yeah,
they didn't even get experts in the genre.
Yeah, the guy's leading it is from the Assassin's Creed thing. I'm like, all right, whatever.
They got guns in the games. We should know what we're doing. It's like, well, those games are all about stealth.
Yeah. So when, because I had no idea this game was coming out. I won't lie. I didn't know it was coming out. I had no idea what it was.
But to be honest,
he sent it to me in a text. I was like, okay, let me look it up before the show.
That's how we prep the show. Text messages. And sometimes we don't even send text messages.
Yeah.
We go, hey, we got nothing. Right before we go live.
Yeah. But he said that, and I'm like, oh, okay, let's see what's going on here. I searched it, I looked it up. The trailer started out amazing, and then it went right downhill.
Then gameplay came into the factor.
So, which is another topic we have on the show tonight. But, so it starts out with 2045 or something, right? And the world basically has made a bunch of bad decisions. World's in basically a shit show. Ton of pollution, ton of everything. So a company out there made a virtual reality world.
Oh, now I see where you're tying it in.
Thank you for the segue setup.
So inside this virtual reality world, there's basically it's online currency. You go in, you can make a name for yourself. There's a bunch of different shops and fucking games you can play. And one of those games is Speedway or whatever the Hyperscape. So I guess this is the new top dog inside this virtual reality world, and you can make a name for yourself. So that's basically how it started out, and then it showed me the gameplay, and I was like, I'm not playing it.
That good, huh?
Yeah. So this is a
Because I feel like you took a step down to play Apex.
Oh my god, this is a fucking. So basically, there's like items in there that can like flip gravity, lower gravity. There are people jumping. Like it literally reminds me of old school Ultimate
Alliance?
No, the fucking
Ultimate
it's
Street
a fucking
Fighter?
shooter, the shooter game.
I wouldn't know that. I don't play shooters.
God, it was like it's
Ultimate SOCOM.
yeah, it's a fucking shit show where you like
Time flitters.
You can fucking jump and like fly 30,000 feet that way.
So like that one Black Ops that was in space.
Oh my god, yeah, it's fucking that was more realistic than this shit.
Oh well, fine.
But yeah,
it's between completely fictional with Fortnite and somewhat fictional of Apex.
so it's got like Apex type like ultimates. It looks like it's got some of them clearly were stolen from Overwatch, etc. But it's got I can't remember what the fuck the name of it was. I used to play it. It was a freaking battle. It's sort of like a battle game. It'll come to me eventually, but it's like you can just
when
jump,
we go off the air.
like you can literally jump over entire buildings. They got power ups and health things on the ground. You just run over.
So it's Twisted Metal with shooters.
Yeah, it's a little no, I don't see it. I don't personally do not see this game succeeding whatsoever.
He also doesn't get Fortnite, so
And they've already announced that there's going to be a battle pass for it.
he doesn't understand Fortnite. Just saying.
So I don't.
He doesn't understand Fortnite, so this may be the hottest new game to hit the market.
Could be. I just watched it. I'm just like I will never enjoy this
So
game.
clearly they're going after the Fortnite demographic
It is
with a more fantasized version of gunfighting.
well, there's no building.
That would probably take away. That's the stupidest part of Fortnite. But
I know, but it's
it's like you said. I want a first-person shooter
yeah.
in Minecraft.
Fuck, I can't remember what the hell the name of
Fortnite.
that stupid game. Like if I could just remember, but you don't even know the game anyway, so it doesn't matter. But
Armored Core.
yeah, Armored Core, yeah. But yeah, it's a fucking it would surprise me if fucking like some of them have rocket launch. That's the other thing driving me. Some of them rocket launchers and shit. Yeah, I
You
know.
can pick them up in gameplay.
Yeah, and just start blowing shit up. It wouldn't surprise me if there's like rocket boosts, like you just shoot down the ground at your feet and just launch yourself
I'm gonna have to try this game
while you jump.
This sounds like chaos at its best.
Well, yes, and it's honestly it looks like there is no hit bar, or like there's no health bar, so you get hit once you're dead.
What? This is like a cracked out.
James Bond mode.
Yeah, and then and because it's a virtual reality, you don't actually die. You just like sort of like how like Mario just like goes across. That's how they die in there. Just and you're gone. I assume there's gonna be respawn points. I have no fucking idea. I don't know how you would get your players back. I have no idea. I don't think you drop loot or anything. It didn't look like it in any of the gameplay I seen. It looked like you just run around and pick up shit. And when you die, it sort of is like a Fortnite thing where all your shit just spasms out of your body.
Like Minecraft.
Like Minecraft.
You should have
exactly.
said Minecraft. I would have picked it up quicker than that.
Yeah, like Minecraft, where it just spasms out of your body and
falls
then
in
you have to
lava,
go around.
and then
Yeah.
you just give up on the game forever.
I didn't. I mean, like I said, I watched it. And I'm like, I'm not. It's not a game for me. I like first person shooters. Not that type of first person shooter.
Will
though.
you try it though? At least.
If it's free, I probably will. I only seen it said it was only for the PlayStation. I mean, for the PC.
What?
So I don't know if it's coming to consoles right away or not, or what's going on there. Again, it's like that game I was trying. I can't remember the fucking name of it is, and I can understand why it wouldn't come to a console because it's
Quake.
Quake is actually Quake 2000 is a pretty good. Yeah, that's one of them. It's like it's not the one I was thinking of.
I knew if I would just keep yelling
Yeah.
names.
You find something.
Yeah, but it's yeah, it's just not like I can understand why it wouldn't be in the PlayStation. The problem is it probably can't come to the PlayStation 4, but it probably could come to the PlayStation 5 because this shit's going to be fucking crazy with visuals is the problem. So I don't think the PlayStation currently can handle the
processing power,
the video of it. Yeah, without really dumbing it down. Maybe the new one can. I don't think that the current one I know can't. Like it'll probably catch fire.
Fantastic.
Unless they, like I said, they have to dumb down all the particle effects and shit. But because like you're flying around and you can like some of the abilities are just like to put up a big fucking wall and shit. Like you're gonna need a decent rig in order to actually be able to handle all the fucking particle stuff. So it's like I said, I don't know. I mean, I'll try it if it's free. I have a funny feeling it's not gonna be free because I don't think they have any games that are free.
That makes sense. I don't think Ubisoft does.
So it wouldn't surprise me if they make you pay for it. And like I said, they already said that there's going to be a season pass with it. Or a battle pass, or whatever the fuck.
So it's probably free to download, but then you can't do shit.
I don't know. My whole thing, though, here is it's setting up perfectly for
Wave 2 of Corona.
Well, no, because how it all started with the whole virtual reality thing, whereas if you can have the same avatar flow through multiple different games.
Oh, so like you could be, I'm a first-person shooter, then all of a sudden, Assassin's Creed!
Yeah, but you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, you can actually...
put the headset on, and you were there.
Which I don't know if they're smart enough, or if they realize what they did, but that's exactly what I thought of at first.
Yeah, you know what it sounds like? Ready Player One. And that's
Exactly.
great. That's a great segue, because they actually released pre-orders for Ready Player 2, the sequel to Ready Player 1. And they sold out the pre-orders. First of all, if it's a pre-order, how'd you sell it out?
Well, I'm a little confused on that. Pre-order of what? The book?
Yep.
Okay.
So I guess the physical hard copy sold out.
You can still get them on Amazon Kindle and all that jazz. Did not know that warranted a sequel.
I mean, if you expand the world.
I don't know how.
But again, I only saw the movie. Didn't read the book.
Yeah, I only saw the movie too, but I don't know how. I assume it ends roughly the same way.
If you listen, this is where we need Frank. This is a story that needed to break last week when we had him on the show.
Because he's read that book twice and shit on the movie hard.
That's right.
I think, personally, the movie should have been a trilogy. There's 3 keys. Why the fuck wouldn't you break that up?
It was a little... Yeah, you could easily... Chris shouldn't have been as rushed. But I thought the movie was really good. I just don't see how you can...
I didn't have a book to disappoint me.
Yeah, I don't know how you can... Like, what the fuck could you do to make a sequel? I just don't understand what...
That guy could come back to try to take over the company again. Hackers, maybe, that try to infiltrate the virtual reality and steal away the company. Because it wasn't like a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory type thing where the guy got the keys to the kingdom after he won.
He got the keys to the kingdom after he won. He had to sign it. I just don't understand. I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I just thought it was interesting. And you teed me up for a segue. So hard. But yeah, now you can go and pre-order that on Amazon right now. I think it's on the electronic version. But you know what's out on the paperback version in the comic world? The Walking Dead.
Oh, God.
So they recently ended the Walking Dead run back in like
30 years ago.
I think earlier this year. With where they spoiler alert, if you haven't read it, they killed Rick. And then pretty much showed Carl living happily ever after 30 years later, which it's not a spoiler if you only watch the show because Carl's dead. That's a spoiler. Anyway, one of the big mysteries in Kirkman's graphic novel, or comic book as you will, was the fact that Negan walks off in like issue 94. Rick puts him in a house for helping him and says, "You stay out here, you live your life, just don't come into any of the neighborhoods." Maggie goes and tracks him down and tries to kill him. Maggie spares his life. Negan grabs his bat and walks off into the sunlight. Well, actually, he buries his bat. He just walks off into the sunlight. Negan is back in an all-new comic run. Issue number 1 came out last Wednesday. I am excited to read it. It just got here today. But Negan lives. So the Walking Dead universe expanded in the comic world.
Woohoo!
Which I've always preferred the comic over the show.
The show got really boring because they're dragging it out. They didn't know really what to do, and yeah.
And then Kirkman surprised ended the comic run. It was like, what the fuck? Which in hindsight, well, the thing I don't care for the show is the time jumps. They are now like 15 years in the fucking future. Mm-hmm. Like, it's ridiculous how far in the future they are now. And the whole to me, the whole story of The Walking Dead was a father trying to protect his son in a post-apocalyptic world. And the show went, hey, we're going to kill your son.
That's right.
And then it's like, okay, well, now it's the daughter. I see what you did there. Yay. But poor Carl, because the whole story is fucking Carl. Judith dies in, like, issue 10, where Lori gets shot and she falls on the baby, and the baby just dead. Anyway, if you're still craving that Walking Dead in paperback form, Negan Lives is available now. You can obviously get it on Amazon Kindle or any of the other e-readers you guys may do, or the physical copy. I like physical copies, so I have one.
Woohoo! I'm looking at the clock. I'm seeing the time. I've got 2 more stories. The one I really want to bring up because it's
Jizzard.
So World of Warcraft
Shadowlands has removed the, I guess it's a currency-based thing, where to change genders. So they've gotten with the times, and if you're a male who decides all of a sudden you're a female, it's free of charge in World of Warcraft to do so.
It's actually not shocking to me because they already had a barbershop, so whenever you went to the barbershop, you can change pretty much everything on your character except for the sex.
Except for your genitalia.
Yeah. So that really doesn't surprise me.
Does it surprise you it took so long?
Sort of, just because, like I said, they already had it implemented where you can go in and like literally change almost anything. The one thing I'm actually shocked they still haven't done yet is why you can't change your race.
Because you can't do that in real life. If you're white, you're white.
Well, yeah.
You can't disown all the white people that are doing really dumb shit now.
It's right.
Fucking Karens.
But that one was the only one that really kind of still confuses me because, like I said, you can change almost anything on your body.
Except your genitalia.
Yeah, like you can make yourself taller, smaller. You can fucking change your skin color. You can change your hair color. You can piercing, tattoos, change them at will, willy nilly. It doesn't really matter. You can do
but not your willy.
But not your willy. I actually didn't realize they didn't have it in the game. I thought that was in. I just never. I've always played a guy character in it, so I don't know. I'm always a dwarf or gnome guy. I don't know why.
It shocked me to read that headline. I did not know that was a thing where they were charging people to change sex.
I didn't realize they were yeah.
Some kind of transaction. I don't know
how the currency works.
So they're doing it through the battle. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So everything else was just gold and game currency, which is like it was next to nothing. It was like when I was doing it was like fucking not even a gold or whatever, 10 gold or something. You can do a fucking daily and get that. But
also didn't know there was a new expansion pack.
Well, yeah, new expansion pack's coming out later this year, I believe.
Shadowlands?
And that has a shit ton of controversies in it on all its own, because that's going to be another fucking shit show, and I already
From what I read, because I kind of glanced at it real quick, if you've never played the series, you could jump in now. Is that one of the controversies?
No, so the problem is what they're trying to do is they're trying to change the game at its core to a certain extent. Well...
Is it to bring in?
They're not trying to change the game to the core. All right. So, well, it's sort of trying to change. So, what happened was, for those of you who don't know, they released WoW
Classic,
Vanilla. Right? And it's doing a lot better than actual WoW currently.
It's because nostalgia always sells.
Well, no, it's because they over the years they've really made a lot of design choices in order to promote more casual players. I guess you would say more.
This guy.
Yeah, so it's a little bit they kind of went away from what the original was and really started making like instead of
No, I remember the original. I lost my friends almost every Friday night because they had to go what was it called?
Raiding.
Right. Yeah.
So in the original, it's like, you know, you got punished for being certain things.
For having a social life.
For having a social life, exactly. You had to know your class. You had to, like, when things dropped, it would be, like, one specific gear. So it would just be, like, a priest helmet or a rogue dagger. But now in the expansions, they moved away from that. Now it's a token drops. And the tokens for 4 different classes, and all 4 of those classes can then go to a vendor to turn in to get a helmet.
Okay.
So they kind of like dumbed it down. Instead of 40-man raids, they went more towards 5 and 10-man heroics.
Or that.
And then your big quote unquote big raids would be like a max like 25, but a majority of them would be done with only like 10. So they kind of like. Before it's like I said, before it used to be 40-man raids, so it was a fucking shit show.
And that was the birth of Leroy Jenkins.
Exactly, Leroy
Jenkins.
But yeah, so now they're gonna go back and they're gonna try and force people to actually like pick specific curators. I think is what they're calling it. So you're basically picking a specific. Which again, this is like horrible timing for Blizzard.
Jizzard.
Basically, sort of like if you play D&D, like, so you have like loyal, lawful, chaotic.
Oh, so like chaotic good, chaotic neutral, chaotic evil.
Yeah, so there's like 9 of them in D&D. Well, they're gonna have 5 of them, I believe, 5 or 6 in this, where you have to choose basically how your character acts. And then that's going to then predetermine specific skills and stuff. So what it's going to do is it's going to splinter a lot of the classes. And they're basically saying that once you pick it, you can't re-roll it.
Whoa!
And that's where...
But we can be whatever gender we want!
Yeah, but see, that's where the problem comes into a lot, because let's say the best DPS for a mage is... I don't know what the names of them are, but let's say it's lawful good, right? They're the ones that have the highest DPS, but you went fucking chaotic neutral because you had no idea at the time. Now, you've been playing this character since day 1 of WoW. You just fucked your character for this entire expansion.
Oofa.
So that's really where people are upset.
Oh, because if you're somebody who's been grinding for years.
Yes, now you're locked in, and you fucked up day 1 and did not realize. Because you didn't... So basically what's probably going to happen, and it's like I said, it's going to really fuck up things, is people who are playing specific characters aren't going to play their main.
Yeah.
They're going to play some fucking random-ass character and wait for all the information to come out in order to then figure out which ones to go. But see, then the problem comes in is then Blizzard's going to start balancing these things, and it's going to start switching which ones are... Like, you're never going to know what's in meta. The meta's constantly going to change. It's a balancing act that I don't think Blizzard really thought through too well.
Jizzard.
Because if you literally lock them in and they can't change out of it, and then you do something to change that specific thing to where they're no longer quote unquote the powerful one, and it's this other thing, and you just completely kill the character. So then they have to re-roll another character, or they're just going to stop playing and bitch the entire time.
Jizzard.
So that's really the controversy with it.
I can see why that's a pain in the ass, especially considering this came out when we were in high school.
Yeah.
Like 06 talking.
See, I was kind of hoping like the Ubisoft game where we're just talking about like that was, I was really hoping that was like just from the first 45 seconds before they told me that it was a battle royale game, I thought it was going to be an MMO.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my god, this sounds amazing. And I didn't even show any game. They were just like basically telling you the backstory. I'm like, oh my god, is this really going to be like an open world? You're going to be like doing whatever, and you could just jump into some fucking random game and like I thought it was gonna be something fucking crazy. Like literally, like the first thing I thought was Ready Player One. Like literally, that's what I thought. And you could just go through and grind shit, and you got like all these other separate things. And in my mind, I was thinking like there's could be people like me and you, like we can sit there. Like I'm sure they'll give out developer boxes and stuff that people can develop games and stuff, and you can play it in. Like to me it was just like, oh my god, if this is really where they're going, this is fucking amazing. But then they went down this battle royale thing, and I got really disappointed.
When we get done, I have a game over there that you might be interested in.
That's right.
It's called PlayStation Dreams.
Woo!
Where people are literally just redeveloping games that have already come out, and you can jump from game to game.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
I'm gonna probably put it in after this to see what it is. I bought it. I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's probably way too creative for me because Minecraft is.
Yeah. Well, see, that's what I'm trying to say. Because the game I'm thinking about, like the way that they were kind of like immediately propositioning it out until they really went down this. Oh, this is the one game inside. It's like this is the one game inside this VR game. That's the only thing you can play. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like that was the thing that drove me nuts. I'm like, really? All right, thanks, asshole.
Anyway, that kind of wraps up our show. We had another story, but we can bring it up next week
Because it's not out yet, and it's confusing, and I'm probably going to argue for about 20 minutes about it with myself.
I like it.
So if you're into Batman, tune in next week. What do you got going on? What do you want to plug?
Please email me at dacemichelle@gmail.com. I'm gonna try and start stream. I think I only streamed once last week, but that's because a bunch of other people were supposed to be streaming, and then shit just hit the fan, and then I got screwed over all weekend. So it's just kind of a weird weekend for me. But hopefully I can start streaming maybe tomorrow. I feel like somebody's doing tomorrow.
Wednesday is usually Jerriot, unless Jerriot gives us a heads up in the chat.
Yeah, so I'll maybe Thursday, Friday. Right now I'm trying to build a stadium. We'll see how that goes. I'm already regretting it. I'm already regretting my choices.
Yeah, you didn't get to see the build that I did 8 months ago, where I tried to make a Death Star.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got really unmotivated really fast when it's like, just keep doing the same thing over and over again for about 100 fucking levels.
Well, I'm trying to level out a freaking huge field, and my problem was I was like, all right, it's 300 yards or 350 yards or whatever to the foul line. I was like, it's 350 blocks. I laid down 50. I was like, this is pretty big. You know what? I'll just do 100. I'll cut everything by a third. Now I put out 100. I'm like, this is fucking way too big. So I gotta figure out the proportions I want to make. But yeah, we'll see. Right now I'm still leveling it out to the 100. I still think it's gonna. I might do it at 100. I mean, I don't have anything else to do, so I don't know.
I'll jump on and give him a hand.
Yeah, but it's technically the only reason I'm not like really that pissed off about 100 is just because like a majority of it's a field, which once you flatten it out and put grass in it, I'm basically done.
Until he has to build the bleachers.
I was gonna say the bleachers are really what's gonna
piss him off.
It might not. It's gonna be quite repetitive.
I'm sorry, there's a 400 level on Citizens Bank Park, and I expect it to be there.
All right, all right. And that was the other issue. Also, is it is relatively close to my base, and I might need to. Well, if I have Dace with me, we can easily level shit, but I might have to move it a little bit more further away.
Makes sense.
It really depends. Like, kind of, like I said, I was just trying to lay out the field first, and then go from there.
If you build it, they will come.
They will come. That's right. But that's my game plan. I have no idea what the other idiots are doing. I did go and see Dan's base today. He needs a life. That's all I can say to that one.
Or needs to stream it.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll probably take you on a tour again whenever I come back online this week, because there has been a lot of changes since last time I streamed, and I don't think I actually. You definitely haven't seen Dan since the last time. Last time I was there, Dan's, you guys seen it, and that was all he put in was that fancy gate with a billion of sticky pistons, which I don't know how the fuck he did, but.
Well, the cool thing is, if you guys become a loyal subscriber to Minecraft, I know one project he really wanted to work on was the Board of Fame, or the Hall of Fame, or whatever the fuck it is.
Oh, yeah, I do want to do that. I need to go, yeah, maybe I could do subscribers. It probably might just need to be, yes, I'll have to figure that through.
So there you have it. So the schedule usually on Twitch is going to be Monday nights is the King of the North, I believe. I don't know if he does or not anymore, but I'm still going to plug it because he's a good friend of ours, and he helped us out at the beginning of the year.
Honestly, if you look at him, he doesn't really stream that much anymore. I think he's really getting screwed over because of all the...
Yeah.
I think he's only streaming like two nights a week, I think, at the moment. Like, he's kind of like... And it's the same with our other person supposed to be here.
Sure.
She's getting kind of...
Oh, Corey.
Corey's also... This whole corona thing apparently is fucking some people's lives up.
Yeah. This pandemic thing is an inconvenience.
Apparently, So hopefully we'll get back to some normalcy.
But you can always find him on
King of the North
88.
I believe it is.
Like I said, he carried us through the beginning of this pandemic and into our Game-a-thon. Oh, actually, he carried us into the Game-a-thon this year when, yours truly was going through some shit.
And I didn't have anything to stream on. I did some Apex on the PlayStation. I still need to figure out how to get the PlayStation to flow through my computer. But
I'll have to show
I have the Elgato. I have everything I need. I think I'm just going to plug it through. I think I'm actually just going to put the PlayStation off my monitor instead of the TV.
Anyway,
I'll figure it out. I'm just
Monday
sidetracked.
nights is reserved for King of the North. If he's not on, usually we'll jump on with Minecraft Mondays. Tuesday night, as of course, is yours truly here, the Dace Man Show, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Right.
We're hoping to bring Corey on at some point once we get past this pandemic to the point where, like he said, the medical field is just getting fucked. And not to mention, there's a lot of high-risk people that we know, and she's high risk to get it.
She's not high risk, from my understanding. It's her dad is the problem. Her dad's high risk, and so she's in the medical field, so she already feels like she's got enough shit to be dealing with.
And not to mention, we're dirtballs, so...
Yeah, so I mean, I completely get it.
We forgot there was a pandemic. On Wednesdays, you'll get Jerry at Games, which is our good friend Jarrett. I think Jarrett might actually be on the podcast next Tuesday.
I like it.
There's apparently some punishment that's supposed to be carried out because of something you did in another league that I'm not involved in anymore.
Nope.
But we'll see what happens. Jarrett might be here on the show next Tuesday, but every Wednesday you can catch him on our stream, Jerry at Games. Thursday, like he said, he'll probably be back this week doing a little bit of something. But not this Friday. The following Friday, July 24th, we're back with Dungeons and Dragons, and you're looking at your new Dungeon Master. And
Thank you.
The best thing is, I get to be Rick. I'm going to be Rick.
Woo!
Pickle Rick. We'll be doing the Rick and Morty of Rickness edition.
So we're doing it on Friday?
Not this Friday, next Friday.
What time?
I've said 8.
Said 8.
I would prefer... 7:30 would be best. We want to hit the stream at 8.
We'll talk about this after air.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's the
We'll let you know.
version.
We'll let you know.
I will be your Dungeon Master. Gibby will be one of the players. We'll be bringing back Padre as a player. Dan Ralph as a player. Frank will be here as a player. And Cheever will be here as a player.
Sadly, I think it's a good cast.
Yeah, it should be good. With yours truly getting to play God. As
It'd be better if
I have not been doing that for 8 years.
That's right.
Also, starting Monday, if Tim doesn't stream and you don't do Minecraft, I would love to play Paper Mario: The Origami King.
Origamis.
And when I transfer it to YouTube, have Nintendo yell at me like crazy.
They're the worst.
They are. But we got a lot of streaming coming down the line. What else is there to do?
Dance.
It's a pandemic. Well, Just Dance was announced on the Ubisoft thing.
Oh.
Anyway, follow us on Twitter at The Dace Man Show. Follow me on Twitter at The Dace Man. It's one of the few social media accounts I have left. Follow us at The Dace Man Show on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook.com/DaceMan Show. I know I have to do a better job updating it. Since I'm not on Facebook anymore personally, I don't think about it.
That's right.
When I was there on it personally, it kept flourishing in the corner like, hey,
right.
The Dace Man Show, you should probably do something.
Don't do it.
It used to send me, it used to send these guilt messages to me as
That's right.
notifications. It's like, hey,
you know in a while.
It goes, hey, if you know you fucking did something, your audience would grow, right?
Right.
Like, okay, I'm deleting you. And then the DaceManShow.com. Another thing that I have not updated in a while. Plus a couple projects we've been talking about in the wings, so hopefully we'll be getting that to you hopefully by the end of the year. But as always, we are here every Tuesday. We're back in a flow. This is our 4th show. We've been back for a month. Believe that shit?
No, not really.
Doesn't feel like a month.
No. Sounds like a week.
I feel like the Dace Man Show slows down time.
That's right.
Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. For the few.
For my chickens.
For the proud. For the Dace-tacular. As always, thank you for tuning in. Stick to the channel. Stick to the Facebook. Stick to the tweets. And we will see you next time.